What's up, everybody? Christian Fowler with Bluff City Media. We've got some freaking massive news tonight. Me and Kenny jumped on as quick as possible.
I've got chills right now. Like,
Kenny's got chills right now. If you haven't heard, if you're under a rock, former Louisiana big man Jordan Brown just made his commitment to the University of Memphis public. Massive. I mean, there's no other word. It's massive. This is absolutely huge. 2 weeks ago, we felt like this was a really good possibility. Memphis was heavily connected. It made sense for both parties. And then we start hearing news that he hasn't graduated yet, so he won't be a grad transfer. Right. So maybe Memphis isn't ready to take his commitment. Maybe other schools are bouncing out because he hasn't graduated. Boom, out of nowhere, Jordan Brown commits to the University of Memphis, one of the best big men in the country last year at Louisiana, led them to the NCAA tournament, averaged 19.3 points, 8.6 rebounds per game, over 1 block the last several years per game. So just absolutely massive. This is what everyone's been wondering. Where is the big man? Where is the true center? Here it is, 6'11", 230, Jordan Brown, one of the best bigs in the country. I'm kind of at a loss, Kenny. What do you think?
Like we've talked about, I feel like all of our podcasts around the Tigers have been about roster construction, and it's like the last few weeks, and it's like, what is this roster going to look like? And the conversation has been about like, okay, best case scenario, what could it look like? This right now, Jordan Brown is best case scenario.
It's part of that best case scenario. Yes, absolutely.
Part of that best case scenario. Without Jordan Brown, the best case scenario doesn't happen. Now, there's other things that we've talked about that we would love to see happen, but Jordan Brown is a massive piece of this, man. He's just, there's no denying it. There's no other way to put it other than this is a monster get for Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, absolutely. John Rothstein, when he tweeted it out, said this is an all-conference caliber player. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Was the player of the year last year among mid-major schools. Incredible. Like I said, averaged over 19 points per game as a center, nearly averaged a double-double. Wow.
6'11", 230, just monster.
Yeah, this late in the cycle to land a player of this caliber that could have this impact is absurd, and it just goes to show again that never doubt Penny Hardaway. Never worry too much because he's going to figure out a way, and this is about as big of an addition as you can make. Like I said, this is what people have been clamoring for. Front court, true center, rim protector, a guy that can set the tone. Sometimes you get lost in that of, okay, are we trading out a guy who can help and impact offensively for a guy who can be a rim protector? In this case, it's all of it. It's all of it. It is best case scenario. Like, this is the absolute best true center that you could possibly get on June 27th heading into the 2023-2024 season. Like, this is ridiculous. This is honestly absurd.
Where does he compare? Like, if Jordan Brown had come into the portal early on in the season or early on in the session, where does he rank? I mean, he's right up there. Has to be in terms of the best case scenario big man in all of the portal this entire offseason, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's not gonna catch the attention of a guy like, say, Kel'el Ware, who transferred from Oregon because he's a legit, lottery projected first-round pick in next year's draft. But as far as immediate impact, like, Jordan Brown crapped on Kel'el Ware's number last year at Oregon. Like,
wasn't even close.
Right. He's not he's probably not going to be a first-round pick like Kel'el Ware is, but obviously because of the age, he's been to multiple schools. I think he's been in college for 4 or 5 years now. But this ain't about going to the NBA. This is about what can he help this team do next season. And he absolutely raises the ceiling so much higher for this team. It really felt like the one big piece that they were missing. We've talked about Caleb Mills and what he can be potentially as a point guard. And we like that prospect. We think he can succeed and excel there potentially. But to me, missing the center was tough, and it was going to be tough, especially if you don't get DeAndre Williams back and you're rolling with Nick Jourdain at the 5. Now, let's say you don't get DeAndre Williams back and you're running with Nick Jourdain and Jordan Brown. I feel great about that. I feel great about that. Yeah. Now, let's talk more about best case scenario, because if you do get DeAndre Williams back at this point, I said this last week on the podcast, if DeAndre Williams and Jordan Brown are your front court, top 5 front court in the country, by far the best front court in the American. You're talking about a guy that averaged 18 and 8 and a guy that averaged 19 and 8. So a combined 38, was that math right? 37 and 17 between your two front court members last year. The best big in the AAC last year was DeAndre Williams. I know Jarris Walker was a top 10 pick, but DeAndre Williams was the best big in the conference last year. And Jordan Brown was the best mid-major big in the country last year. He won the award for best mid-major player in the country last year, won an award for it. How can you dispute that this is not one of the top 3? It's up there. It's up there.
It's indisputable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just obviously Jordan Brown's news in and of itself is massive for the Tigers, but it just kind of lays in there like what we've talked about in terms of the staff feeling extremely positive about their chances to get DeAndre back. You get him a waiver and get him one more year and you bring in Jordan Brown. And then here's the crazy part, Christian, is you get to take a guy like Nick Jourdain and bring him off the bench to spell either the 4 and the 5. Like you're not only making your starting 5 better, but you are making your bench infinitely better automatically, because Nick Jourdain, I have no issue whatsoever if Penny Hardaway, if they don't get a waiver for DeAndre Williams, having Jordan Brown and Nick Jourdain playing with each other in the starting 5. No issue at all.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Imagine if they get to take Nick Jourdain and say, listen, bro, you get to come in. You're going to play a lot, and we're going to depend on you a lot. But you get to come off the bench and spell DeAndre and or Nick. DeAndre and or Jordan Brown. That is, those 3 guys in and of themselves make up an unbelievable front court.
Yeah. And the Jordan Brown commitment news comes on the heels of Sunday night, Memphis getting involved with Alabama transfer guard Javon Quinterly. What this team could be. And you think about back to a month ago, everybody was freaking out on this is incomplete. Like they have good pieces, but it's not going to compete at that high of a level. Could they sneak in the back in the tournament? Sure. But are they going to make any noise? No, they don't have enough leadership. They don't have enough experience. They don't have enough guys on both ends of the floor that can make impacts. Since then, since we were panicking, freaking out, Memphis landed David Jones, great two-way player from St. John's.
Awesome.
Memphis just landed Jordan Brown, one of the best bigs in the entire country. Memphis has been pursuing a waiver for DeAndre Williams, one of the best bigs in the country, the best big in the American last year. Now they're pursuing Javon Quinterly as well. 5-year point guard, experience, veteran, has been there, done that at the highest level, played for Alabama last season, one of the best overall teams in the country. And now let's talk about projecting. Now let's talk about looking at this roster next year and what it could be. Hypothetically, let's just have some fun with it. It's what we do. It's part of the job. JQ at the 1, Caleb Mills at the 2, David Jones at the 3, DeAndre Williams at the 4, Jordan Brown at the 5, Jalen Young as your backup point guard, Nick Jourdain as your third man in the front court, TFAL Leonard likely would be one of the best defensive players in the conference next year, and Jonathan Pierre all coming off the bench. Not to mention your freshmen, which if this is the roster construction, they're not going to see the floor much next year, and that's fine. You can redshirt some guys, get them a year. If someone's good enough, get them 8 to 12 minutes a game, whatever. But let's focus on those, 8, 9 players I just mentioned. That's one of the best teams in the country. Bar none, that's one of the best teams in the country.
Dare I say, like one of the best teams in the country, an automatic national title contender.
I don't think it's overblown when you think about that roster. You have JQ, very good point guard, can shoot the 3,
and will
run the offense.
Will thrive in Penny's system. In Penny's system. Can
facilitate the ball, can get out in transition and move the ball to his teammates. You got Caleb Mills. His game speaks for himself. What he's done at Houston and Florida State, just an overall very smooth, talented player at the 2. David Jones at the 3. Multiple people have said he could be an all-conference type player at Memphis next season in the American. Okay, great two-way player. DeAndre Williams, we already know what he is. He's a first-team All-AAC guy, one of the best bigs in the country. Jordan Brown, potential first-team All-AAC guy, one of the best bigs in the country. Jalen Young, great backup point guard. TFAO Leonard, great defensive player. Nick Jourdain. Not many teams in the country have a third big man as good as Nick Jourdain. Jonathan Pierre. I mean, the sky's the limit for what he can be and what his potential is.
Reports that we're hearing from the inside the facility, the best shooter on the team right now. Like coming in 6'10", 6'11", coming in and playing really good ball. One of the hardest workers. So
I've been saying it for 3 weeks now. If this stuff happens, if it comes to fruition, this is before the JQ news. Even if that doesn't come to fruition, strap a rocket ship to the back. I've been saying it for 3 weeks. If they get Jordan Brown, if they get DeAndre Williams, strap a rocket ship. If they get JQ, come on.
Let me ask you a question, and this is just between me and you. Nobody else is listening right now.
Nobody else will hear this.
Just between me and you. If this is a silly question, tell me.
Okay.
Is this roster at its best case scenario, all that you just mentioned, is it better than the 21-22 season? Imani, Jalen,
yes,
DeAndre.
If all that comes to fruition, this is the best roster Penny has ever had, and it's not even close. It's not even close. They're not relying on freshmen. They're not relying on unknowns. They're relying on legit dudes who have been all-conference players, have been in the collegiate game for 4 to 6 years. That amount of experience in that starting lineup, you think about Jordan Brown, as I mentioned, been with 2 schools. I think this will be his 5th year.
Javon,
DeAndre Williams, 5th year. JQ, 6th year in college, 5th year playing.
Caleb, 4th year.
Caleb, 5th year.
No, this is his 5th year. Yep.
Yeah, this is 5th year. The amount of experience is absurd. David Jones is only a
sophomore.
No, 4th sophomore? Year. It'll be his 4th year. He's played 3.
Okay.
2 at DePaul and 1 at St. John's.
That's right.
So that starting lineup, this would be DeAndre's 5th year, Jordan Brown's 5th year. That'd be 10 years of experience, including this season. David Jones, 4. That's 14 years of experience. Caleb Mills, 5. That's 19 years of experience. JQ, 6. 25 years of experience on your starting lineup. Come on. Like Jalen and Imani, absurdly talented players coming out of high school.
Well, and Jalen
were coming out of high school. They were coming out of high school, and Imani didn't pan out to be what he was supposed to be.
Jalen exceeded expectations, and I would still say this roster's better.
Yeah, I think by far and away this would be the best roster Penny Hardaway has ever had. Ever. I don't even think it's close. I think that if that's not a preseason top 10 team, I don't know what is. Genuinely, I don't know what is, because you have – I mean, you look like Houston last year. Like, you legitimately have 3 to 5 guys that could be first-team all-conference players. And X amount of guys that could be newcomer of the year, X amount, at least 3 guys that could be player of the year in the conference. I know FAU has John L. Davis and Elijah Martin, who are both very good players in their own respect, but you have contenders for player of the year, newcomer of the year, multiple guys who could be first team all conference guys. If Memphis has that roster, they should dog walk the American. They should absolutely dog walk the American. Outside of FAU, they should dog walk the American with that roster. No questions asked.
Woo, Christian, this is. I honestly don't know what to say. Like, other than, again, like you just mentioned, man, we respect Penny, man. Like, don't doubt Penny. Like, he's gonna get it done, and he did it tonight.
Yeah, he's always got a way to figure it out. So, appreciate you guys for joining us. We're going to get out of here and get this up as quick as possible, because we know you guys are extremely excited about this news. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. If you're listening to us on any podcast platform, subscribe, leave us a comment there as well. Head over to bluffcitymedia.co. You can check out all of our podcasts, videos, articles. It's the one-stop shop for everything Memphis sports. So with that being said, me and Kenny will see you guys next time there's some breaking news.